Hey everybody, thank you for coming. My name's Scott Harris. Most of you know that, but in case you forgot already. And as you see, we have people over at our homes sometimes, and we tell them a little bit about Zija International, right? We call this a PBR, or a private business reception. Generally, we invite mostly our friends or family members and people we care about. We have them come and take a look at the opportunity. If they love it, they can join us, and if they don't, there's no pressure or no stress in here. We have one more chair up here in the front if anybody wants to take it. Right?
Standing room only.
Excellent. As you see, we're growing here in Bowling Green, and I'm going to start off by just telling real quickly my story. You know, I had someone here last week and said, "Man, I like your house. Did you get this through Zija?" And I said, "Well, that's kind of a no and a yes answer at the same time." About 15 years ago, I was involved in network marketing before, but before that, I was in the Marine Corps Reserves, didn't go to college. After working my butt off for 5 years at every job I swore I'd never do, I said, you know, college don't sound too bad. So I went to college, got an ag degree, a teaching certificate, tried to get a job, and the best job I could get was 2 states away. My car was junk, I didn't have any nice clothes, and I got a calculator out and figured it out. If I went there and took that job, it was going to take me a good 15 years or more just to break even. So I said, you know what, I'm going to start a business. Now, my mom and dad, my dad was an underground coal miner his whole life. My mother was a stay-at-home mom for most of it, worked at a factory a little bit. They didn't teach me how to run a business. As a matter of fact, they taught me lots of things like be nice to people, treat people right? Don't run through the house with... Come on, there you go. Come on, we can interact here. Don't run through the house with what?
A butcher knife.
Yeah, or scissors, right? And they said don't ever go in Minute Mart at midnight with a stocking hat over your head, or things like that. Just kidding, but they taught me the basic stuff about treating people right and being honest and doing right. But they didn't know a lot about finances or about how to make investments or lots of things that I wish they had taught me if they had known. So guess what? I got out of college and I said I'm going to go out and start my own business. They didn't know how to do that, nor did I, and I tried about 5 of them. And after getting about $80,000 in debt, of which my mother signed the loans for because she loved me, right? I was pretty disgusted. And a friend of mine invited me over to come and look at something like this. Now, we weren't in a house. He was in this little office that he rented that was about as big as this room, right? And I drove 3 hours to get there and didn't know that it was one of these type meetings. And when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, this is Amway. They've invited me to see Amway. Anybody ever thought that might be something like that, right? Well, guess what? I didn't never see an Amway meeting before that day. The only thing I ever knew about Amway was that everybody I ever heard talk about Amway said, oh, that doesn't work. Or Avon or Mary Kay, right? Saw a pink Mary Kay car drive through the neighborhood the other day, so I guess it still works. But everybody said it didn't, so I went in with a negative attitude and my arms crossed. And the guy that was doing the presentation was my friend who made me drive 3 hours to see it without telling me what it was, right? And I wasn't impressed with him. And then he put a VHS tape in, which some of you guys are too young to know what that is, but that's a video, right? A little square videotape. And the guy that was running that company said, no one's ever taught you about success and leadership and how to have a business and all these certain things. I don't care who invited you today. I don't care if you like them or not. I don't care if you're impressed with them. You join this company and do things right, pay attention, I'm going to train you. And I'm sitting here thinking, none of my businesses worked. My degree didn't really help me. Nothing's worked till now. When that video went off, guys, no joke, I went from sitting back going, pfft. I was that guy, no joke, rolling my eyes when my buddy was talking, because I was mad that he made me drive 3 hours. As soon as the video was over, I stood up and said, I'm in. What did I have to lose at that point, right? Nothing else worked. Try something. I got started in that company. I was with them for 3.5 years, made a 6-figure income every year. It was different for me. All of a sudden, something was working. And then, unfortunately, they didn't have the right management team in place, and that company went out of business. I was heartbroken. I mean, I was just like, where am I going to find another company like this? And I looked around at a couple of them at the time, but I wasn't impressed enough with any of them or their management team to join one. So I said, you know what, I'm going back to Kentucky, and I'm going to go out and just try corporate America. And because of what I learned over that 3.5 years, this is the key to everything I just took you through up here. When I first got in that business, I was raw. Apparently didn't know how to be successful. And I walked up and asked this one gentleman, my friend said, see that guy over there, he's making more money a month than most people make a year. You do what he tells you. So I just walked up and said, hey, he says you're making a lot of money. Can you prove it? He says, I don't have to prove it. And I said, well, I want someone to show me they're really making that kind of money. He said, if I show you a check that's a big check, would you stop being that way and just do the business? I said, yeah. And he showed me one. He didn't have to. He showed me that check and I almost fell over. And he said, I want you to read this book first, right? And they would pick out books like this one, Rhinoceros Success. It's almost like a children's book with pictures, but it's all about how to have the right attitude. Then they started saying, listen to things like, Building Your Business by Jim Rohn, Making the Shift, Zig Ziglar, Les Brown, people I'd never been exposed to before, motivational speakers, success trainers, John C. Maxwell, right? This guy's written more books on leadership than anybody else on the planet as far as I know. And I started reading those things. I started listening to that in my car when I was driving instead of jamming out all the time, right? Nothing against music, I love music. But if that's all you listen to, sometimes you might open up that dream space a little and learn something new. Now all of a sudden, I went out into corporate America and I felt like the people around me were like zombies. They were just walking like this and I was just jogging by them. It was that easy to be more motivated and to have more success than they did. And I didn't understand why. Then later I thought back on it and thought they didn't have 3.5 years of training by people like some of the people you're going to meet here today. Right? There's going to be people here speaking today. I haven't been in this company very long, but there's going to be people in it today talking to you guys that have been doing this for several years and they have success beyond most of the people I worked with before in that other company. That's why I brought all that up to say just open your mind, pay attention, relax, enjoy yourself. Afterward, if you don't join, we'll shoot you, but that's okay. Right? No. Afterward, we'll answer all your questions, and if you love what you hear, you can become a member of Zija and enjoy it with us, right? So I'll end it with this. 3.5 years ago, I started taking these products. A friend of mine named Brandon, really young guy, introduced me to them, right? They look a lot like me now, right? I started taking these products because my blood sugar had gotten so high I could hardly even get up in the mornings. I'm talking 300s range, right? I was weighing over 250 pounds, which is the most I'd ever weighed. My blood sugar was high, my cholesterol was high, I mean everything was high. I was on 8 different prescription meds. Brandon came to me with the opportunity, and folks, unfortunately at the time, I was this close to becoming the CEO of the company where I work, and I told him I don't have time, I don't know anything about being a CEO, I've been vice presidents and this stuff before, but I don't know anything about being a CEO, I can't do that right now, Brandon. He said, will you try my product? So now, over about 3 years, I lost about 60 pounds. I got off of a lot of my meds. Now, guys, this is not a medicine. Zija's not, it doesn't cure anything. It's nutrition. If you give your body the right nutrition, sometimes your body can repair itself, especially if you get up out of bed and go exercise and do some other things that are smart, right? Start drinking more water. And fortunately for me, it worked really good. I started feeling better. My energy level got back up and I lost weight. I did that for 3 years on and off, taking the products. Then one day Brandon came over and said, I'm going to introduce you to your new next door neighbor. Now the house next door to mine is a big, beautiful house. And I said, man, who is my new neighbor? He introduced me to Kevin Brasson. So as soon as I met him, I walked over and said, so what do you do for work, Kevin? I mean, I've been in sales most of my whole life, been in sales management, right? And he said, oh, Brandon didn't tell you? Now, I thought maybe he was in the mafia or something, right? He's a hitman. I'm like, what? Didn't tell me what? Then I went, oh, okay, I get it. He said, yeah, I've been involved in Zija, for about 4 years. I'm not going to tell his story, but put it this way. He's living over there, staying home with his kids all day. Every morning when I drive away to work, I have to see him out in the yard playing with his kids, and I have to be at work. People are like, oh, you're the CEO? Like, that's a good thing. If you've never been one, try it sometime. Once you get to that level, all the bad stuff comes to you, right? Mm-hmm. So now you're dealing with all the problems, and every day it's stress, and you have to go to work, because if you're not there, who's going to take care of the mess, right? So a lot of times people say 40 hours a week. At my job, it's however many hours you have to work. And I'm looking at my neighbor, and I said that day, I can't live next to him and not join, either move or join. So we joined. I got my kids involved. My sons are 14 and 15. Fabian will be 16 soon. The first thing that came to my mind the day I walked in from Kevin's house was, number one, I need to do my due diligence. I had never been to the Zija website. I didn't know who the CEO was or the management team. I just knew the products were incredible. Number two, if I like what I see and I join, my sons can now start to become trained by people that are making more a month than most people in Kentucky or the U.S. make a year. And they can start getting involved with personal growth and development through people like John C. Maxwell and Darren Hardy and Zig Ziglar and people like that while they're young. What if I had learned about those things when I was 14 instead of when I was probably 28? Wow. Could have changed my life, right? So I got excited. I went in there. I found out who the CEO and founder was. You'll see more about him in just a second. We joined. My sons are involved, and that's the part I love the most. Just 2 weeks ago, I got a picture of me and my sons with John C. Maxwell holding a book that he had just signed for us, all with our arms around each other, and I'm thinking, this is like a dream come true. Last but not least, I'll say this. My sister has never really worked a lot, but her husband works in a factory. He lost his job. He was jobless for almost a year on unemployment. Finally had to take a job making about 50% less than he was, because he'd been working in factories, for 20 plus years, and all of a sudden now he had to start over. My brother's wife has been a nurse at a hospital in the section, the OB section, where they have the babies, for 25 plus years, maybe 30. They shut the OB section down, and they really didn't want to keep her there because she had moved up so high that her pay was so high, they didn't want to move her to another part of the hospital. She's now working as some type of a director at the library. Does that make any sense? 30 years in the OB department, now you're some type of a director at the Muhlenberg County Library, right? It just blows my mind. And here I am at a company where twice in the last 11 years since I've been there, we have got to the point where I didn't know if the company was going to make it or not, and had to lay a bunch of people off. Those are not exciting things to me. So that day when Kevin said, "Oh, I'm just involved with Zija," I said, "Oh my God." This was like, God didn't just come over and whisper in my ear. He slapped me really hard, and I walked in the house and got on the computer. So if I seem a little excited about Zija, I'm pretty excited for a reason. And I'm more excited about something. Today I was speaking with someone, her name is Lori Wilson, right? She is not just, wasn't just a nurse before, she was what's called like an ARNP, like a nurse practitioner. They can go out and practice on their own, right? And so I know she knows health. So the first time I ever met Lori, I said, "I got questions I know that you can answer," but she's been involved with this company for several years, right? She's driving the free Mercedes already in the Team Benz program. She's been there and done that. And anytime someone knows anything about health or medical stuff, we're like, "Is Lori available?" And I found out she could come here today and answer some questions for some of the people on our team. And I said, "Man, it doesn't get any better than that. Someone who's been in it for several years, making incredible money, knows about health, driving a free Benz." And when she said she could be here, I wasn't even planning on having anything here today. I normally do, but I was out of town in Portland until yesterday, and I said, "We're having one. If Lori's coming, I'm inviting everybody I know over here." So I'd like to show you a quick video about the company, and then I'm going to come up and tell you a little bit more about Lori, and she's going to come in and share some information with you. See if I can make the video work.
Today, our world faces one of the biggest challenges ever that will affect our health and overall well-being in the future. While food is more abundant and readily available than ever before, we are still not getting the proper nutrition that we need to be healthy and to thrive. Today's obesity epidemic affects more and more people every day. The time for change is now. Zija International is committed to making that change. Zija International is a multi-million-dollar network marketing company with tens of thousands of independent distributors and customers throughout the world. Our unique products and business opportunity are providing improved health and financial opportunities never before seen. Since we began in 2005, Zija has quickly become an industry leader, experiencing remarkable growth, doubling every year. Zija's success story begins with one man discovering a tree grown in faraway lands. This man is Ken Brailsford, a pioneer in the nutritional supplement industry. He's known as the father of herbal encapsulation and now founder of Zija International.
I was happily retired until a friend called me up and wanted to show me a video that he had recorded off of the Discovery Channel. He wanted me to go into business with him. I was just going to watch it and tell him, "No, thank you, I've done that, I don't need to do it again." But I watched the video on Moringa oleifera. And by the time I finished, I knew I had to be involved with it. It was something that was great and the world needed, and I felt impressed and spiritually prompted that this is something I needed to do. And so I became involved with my friend in a business venture that would change the lives of countless people throughout the world.
Moringa is so much more than Ken even anticipated. It's a nourisher, a healer, a beautician, a humanitarian. Gram for gram, fresh moringa leaves contain 4 times the calcium of milk, 4 times the vitamin A of carrots, 2 times the protein of yogurt, 3 times the potassium of bananas, and 7 times the vitamin C of oranges.
The health benefits of moringa are truly amazing. It's been shown to deliver anti-inflammatory support, promote healthy digestion, heighten mental clarity, increase energy, provide natural anti-aging benefits, while also nourishing the body's immune system, regulating blood glucose level, promoting healthy circulation, decreasing appetite to promote a healthy weight and increase memory function. But perhaps the most amazing thing about moringa are the hundreds of research articles that have been published in just the last few years, suggesting that we have just begun to understand the true potential moringa has in delivering a healthy lifestyle.
Ken enlisted the help of Russ Bianchi, world-renowned scientist, food formulator, and president of Adept Solutions, a leading global product development and formulation firm. Russ began creating new ways to maximize moringa's health benefits. The result is Zija's extensive line, including nutritional drink mixes, energy and performance products, a complete weight loss and management system, and an innovative skincare line. Each one of these products provide all of moringa's over 90 verifiable benefits, including cell-ready vitamins, minerals, vital proteins, antioxidants, and omega oils. Zija's moringa trees are grown on proprietary farms in dry, hot climates where they thrive. The trees, organically raised without chemicals, are harvested carefully by hand, then shade-dried, ensuring that essential nutrients remain intact. Unlike other moringa products on the market, Zija uses all of the most nutrient-rich parts of the tree: the leaves, the seeds, and the fruit. All of Zija's products are manufactured in a state-of-the-art pharmaceutical-grade facility in Linden, Utah. The processes that go into creating our products are carefully executed to ensure the highest quality possible. In addition to providing nutrient-rich products, Zija provides an amazing business opportunity to anyone searching for a way to achieve financial and time freedom. Joining the Zija family gives you access to all of the tools and benefits you need to succeed. There has never been a more exciting time to be involved in the health and wellness industry. It's the next trillion-dollar economic sector. Participating in this growth will create more millionaires than ever before, many of them Zija independent distributors.
Zija International is truly a global company. Our opportunity is now available on nearly every continent. We're opening new markets every few months, and our independent distributors enjoy the opportunity to share their moringa message with friends, family, and associates worldwide.
A major driving force behind the success of Zija International is its corporate leadership.
I've handpicked the executive team to make the company strong and to give the distributors and those in the field every bit of information and knowledge that they need and the tools that they need to become successful. This executive team has over 100 years experience in the MLM industry, and that background understanding is what is needed to be completely successful. Everything is in place for the distributor to make them successful, and the company is there to support the distributors in every way possible.
Our executive team is unrivaled in the industry. I'm proud to work with such a dedicated team of individuals focused on a common goal.
Health through proper nutrition, financial freedom, personal development, and living an active lifestyle. These are the pillars that define Life Unlimited. See, it is our goal to provide a vehicle for you to create your own destiny, to achieve your goals. We believe that proper nutrition and giving your body the proper fuel will allow you to feel your best and go out and seek after those things that you desire. Financial freedom is a reality at Zija International. And personal development can change the way you look at life, can change your perspective on life, and strengthen and support you to navigate the challenges of life. Living an active lifestyle is simply getting out and doing the things that you enjoy doing. Feel your best, look your best, be your best, and have the energy to do the things that you want to do and fulfill and achieve your personal goals. Here's to you, living Life Unlimited.
Guys, before we have Lori come up, I wanted to share just one more little thing. I just think it's awesome that you have people that live right here in Bowling Green that have gotten this high up in the company. They're willing to give you their support and their time. We do calls for each other. They do calls for me. They come over and do things like what we're doing today. I just figured out that I could do this very part-time because let me say, as a CEO, I do have to be busy a lot. I don't have a lot of free time during the week. I've got two sons that play soccer and they run track and they take piano lessons. So between all of their stuff in between my job, I don't have a lot of free time. But I knew that I wasted a lot of time. I used to watch a lot of TV, a lot, because when the day was over, I just wanted to sit on the couch and do nothing. And watch TV, something senseless that I didn't have to think about. So now, a couple of nights a week, I make a couple of phone calls, right? Every now and then during my lunch break or something, I might text somebody and invite them to an event. It's really not as time consuming as I thought it was going to be, and it's more fun than I thought. But the key is we've got leadership type people that live right here. I mean, one of them lives right next door is my neighbor, right? That we can do this together. And because of that, my son, he'll be 16 this month. Our goal is for him to get Team Benz car qualified at 16 years old. I believe he'll be able to do that. He's got some of his friends here today. He's got Hunter here and Chase's parents are here today, and Chase's brother, to see a little bit more about the company and what's going on here. We're growing a lot, and I'll have to say this. The reason I brought all that up is none of this would have happened if about 4.5 years ago, my neighbor hadn't seen this, and he called Lori. And I'll let her tell her story, but if they hadn't got started back then, there wouldn't be so much going on here in Bowling Green, Kentucky with this company. And if you think about it, back then they had one product. You know, it was like a dirt road compared to the super highway we've got going on now with all the people we've got involved in this area. So with no more ado, I'd like to bring up Lori Wilson and have her share some information with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I don't know if I can live up to all that. Is everybody cooling off some? I know they turned the air on. Got a little.
I'll cool it down a little bit more.
Well, it's okay. I'll just be up here sweating. Y'all won't care, will you? All right. So, first off, hi. So awesome. I think this is the first thing I want all of you to understand is how important it is that you all took time this afternoon to come hear about this. Right? A beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, and that's good. Now I won't fall asleep talking right now. But you know, a beautiful sunny afternoon, and you took time out of your schedule to come here. And I want you to know this: your time is the most valuable thing you own. So when you give somebody your time, you're giving them something you can never get back. And I really appreciate that today, and we'll make good use of it. All right. So you already saw some good information. You may ask yourself, why did I come here to hear information from experts and they play the video? Well, because it's duplicatable. Right? I can't be all over the world where this is being grown in almost 40 countries down, right? Neither can Scott, neither can Kevin, none of us can be. So the best thing we can do is show everybody, sorry, I screamed a little too much last night. Anybody else have that problem? If anybody's not a Kentucky fan in the room. A little bit happened last night, I got us a little excited. But, you know, it was something that I noticed from the first day I ever looked at this. Now understand, Kevin Brazel, he's out there in the other room, but he shared this with me every month, each and every month, at least once a month for 12 months, and I didn't look. Not only did I not look, I avoided him, I ignored him, I ran from him because I was skeptical, and it wasn't because I didn't believe Kevin, it wasn't because I didn't believe this could work, it was just because I'd heard of so many things. Right? Has anybody ever heard of one of those things before? Anything? Yeah. I wasn't the only one. Okay. So I'd heard of lots of things, and as a nurse practitioner, almost all my friends and family would bring things to me. Oh, look at this. And then I'd have patients, look at this, and my colleagues, look at this. And sometimes I would do my due diligence, I would look at it, and a couple months later, it was gone. So it's here today, gone tomorrow. I didn't want to waste my time again, so I kind of pushed it off. A year went by, and Kevin called me, and he said, hey, I want you to come to this meeting with me. Like he often did. Anybody in the room, you know, your friend brought you here today, you probably heard that a few times, right? Hey, you got to come to this meeting. And I said, Kevin, I just don't have time for it. I'm really busy. I'm working about 7 hours a week. There's no way I can add anything else to my schedule. And he told me, he said, hey, you know, Nadia, his wife, who's a friend of mine, she had left her full-time job as a physical therapy assistant. And he said, this thing is growing. And something inside me clicked, and I thought, you know what, he's been doing this year, maybe there's something to it. So I did my due diligence, I did the research, and what I found was strong. I was very impressed with all the background of Moringa and all the background of Zija. But I thought, there's no way I have time to do this business. Does anybody ever feel that way? Who's the first time guest in the room? First time guest. Great, great. Good deal. So you feel like you're busy, got a lot going on, and Scott's already shared some information about how he's a pretty busy fellow. But I was working 70 hours a week in a very busy medical practice as a nurse practitioner. I was covering 2 offices in the hospital. So I didn't really have a lot of time for other stuff. So I told him, I said, I'll take the product, but I'll never do this business. So I always tell everybody, be very careful what you say you'll never do. Because you can probably end up doing it. So I started on the product, and as Scott alluded to, we had a lot fewer products. Now when I got started in 2010, we had 4. And I'll talk about those just in a minute briefly. But I started on Zija Smart Mix, which has now changed. It's improved, it has prebiotics in it. But this is what I started drinking every morning. About 2 weeks in, I woke up and something huge happened in my life. I didn't have any pain. And you may say, well, you're kind of young, why would you have pain? I have rods on both sides of my spine, and those were replaced when I was 16 years old. I started having problems when I was about 19, and I was diagnosed with early onset arthritis and degenerative joint disease. So I was having cortisone injections in my hip and my back every 90 days, different medications, pain pills when I wasn't working, anti-inflammatories when I was, therapies, nothing was really helping. And after 2 weeks of drinking this every morning, I woke up one morning and it didn't hurt. It was life-changing. When you don't remember the last morning you woke up without pain as an adult in your adult life. So I started looking into it a little deeper. I called Kevin. I said, okay, it's like this. I don't know how I'm going to find time to do this business, but I'm going to tell everybody I know about this stuff. Because it works. It helped me. I went to school for 8 years to help people. Why would I not share this with somebody that could benefit from it when I'm helping people all day long? So teach me, show me, tell me what to do, because I don't have an idea, any clue how to do this. I have no background, no experience, never done this before. And I told him, plain and simple, and if he was in here, he would tell you, I said, I believe that we can help a lot of people with this, and I want to be a part of that. Because that's really been my goal all along, is to help people. I feel like I'm here to serve others, and I really feel like we're all put here for that purpose. I don't think it's all about me, me, me. I think that we're all here for a certain purpose, and that may have just been me impacting one person with this, and that's fine. But I knew that I had to pass it on. Number one, because that's my belief. Number two, because I didn't want my blessing to go away. So there was a little bit of selfishness there, because to those that much has been given, much is required. So that's kind of my background on that part. At that point, I enrolled with a builder system. So anyone that's looked at the packages, you know what that is. It was basically enough product for me to get started on everything, and then also so I could have a few samples to sell to my friends and family and a few people that I wanted to try it out with me. At that point, I started doing the full weight management system, and I was able to lose over 50 pounds in 4.5 months.
Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate that, but this is what I always tell everyone. I tried for years and I couldn't do it. It wasn't me, it was Zija. If it hadn't been for Zija, I know I couldn't have done this. Now, the bigger deal is I've kept it off for 3.5 years. All right, losing weight, major deal, big accomplishment, way to go, everybody. Keeping it off is a lot harder to do, and I've lost about 20 more. So I'm down a total of 70. Actually, I have my before picture. I can show that to you all while I'm getting these products together here. Because I want to touch on a couple things and just tell you the main reason that I share what's changed with our products is because I want you to know where the business is headed. You all have seen my picture before, I believe. You just want to pass it back that way, and then Ellie should bring it up this way. Thank you. If it starts to go away, tap it. But at that point when I started losing weight, everybody's like, oh, well, yeah, you have a big story, so you definitely can build this business because you have a huge story. Well, I'm just getting started. I don't have a story. I didn't either. I didn't have a story for 4.5, 5 months when I started really it was noticed that I'd lost weight. I was already gold at that point. So I'd already shared it with a lot of people because the research was there. They could look at the information. They could see that it was proven. Now, if somebody questions me on whether Zija works, I laugh. Like, there's too many stories. There's amazing stories in the room. There's too many stories, too much research, too many people. It's not only just proven if you research it now, it's just out front and center. So I think that makes it a lot easier. You don't have to have a story. You can use my story. You can use someone else's story, and then build your story. So that was one of my reasons why. The other thing that happened was that 70-hour work week thing. What do y'all think about that? Ugh. Did y'all like working 70 hours a week? Y'all just didn't seem as disgusted as I was. So I was an RN for 10 years. I worked 12-hour shifts. I only had to work 3 a week, but I usually worked 4 or 5 at least. And I went back to school to be a nurse practitioner because I always told myself I would finish my schooling and do that. But also I thought that it would lead to a better job, better hours, and more pay, right? Oh, I'd be off and I'd be able to have dinner with my family and I would be able to make more money and blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen. I went back to school, I spent another 50 grand going back to school, got out of school, found a job, and I was working more than ever and making less money than I was making before because I was salaried. Yeah, salaried, not a good thing. So when I started making money with Zija, I was really impressed. I was like, I could get used to this, right? Because I'm one time telling people about this. It's a highly consumable product. They get it each month, and then I get paid. Sounds pretty good, and it works, right? That was the most important thing. All of us have credibility and reputations in the room, right? That and my except for John. But my credibility was not higher than yours, but I did have a little bit more to lose, right? As far as I'm a nurse practitioner. If I'm promoting something that doesn't work for people and I start telling a bunch of people and it'll work for people, then where would I be at? Not that I would lose my license, there's no legal issue there, but people might not believe me or come see me anymore. So I was like, okay, I really have to make sure that this thing is real. So I started talking to people. Kevin put me on the phone with multiple people. I found out that I didn't have to know everything, but that I had to know some people who did. Right? Do all of you think that you know some people who know everything about certain things? Like, if we had to go on that TV show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? Everybody's seen that show, except for the younger people. Maybe showing my age here. But if we had unlimited phone friends, don't you think you could probably find somebody to get through there and get all the way to the million? If you had unlimited? Or you know somebody that's an expert in everything, and some people think they're an expert at everything. But most everybody has something they're an expert at. Well, with this business, you have unlimited access to experts, and that's what I liked about it, because I was working 70 hours a week for a year and a half while I built this business in the beginning. So I was coming to some events, I was going to the trainings, I was listening to the calls, and I was still working my 70 hours a week. So that first year and a half, wow, how did I do it? I did it because of people like Kevin and people like Brandon Hayes, who shared this with Scott, and Chris Estes and Jason Kill. All these people who helped me in the beginning, now I'm able to do that for others. So it's paying it forward. This is a business of paying it forward, in my opinion. So in about a year and a half's time, I was making more with Zija than I made in full-time practice. So I decided to step away from that 70-hour-a-week job. Not because I didn't like it, but because I did not like the quantity in which I was being forced to do it. So I thought, I'm going to step away. I went part-time for another year and a half or so, and last year I made the choice to see patients 3 or 4 afternoons a month. And that's what I do now, and I still love it and have a passion for that. But what I've realized is I have the ability with this company, Zija International, to impact more lives than I was ever going to be able to help in local practice, right, here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Wouldn't you agree? And my reach. If I felt like I was put here for a purpose and I'm supposed to help people and serve others, my reach just grew by like 1 million, because I was able to get out to the world something that I knew worked. So that's kind of where this all leads us to. And I had them bring a couple of the products up here simply because I'm a visual person, right? So I've already talked a little bit about Smart Mix. What is in Smart Mix? Moringa, right? What's in each and every Zija product? Moringa. And so that's what makes it so powerful, right? Is moringa a food? Yeah, it's a food. It's a food. All right, so I was on the phone earlier today, and the reason I bring this up is someone was asking me about it. And they're like, I don't understand, different formulations and this, that, and the other, and how come it's absorbed, and what's up with this vitamin, and which vitamins are in it, and I'm like, it's a food. And they're like, well, I don't see on the breakdown of how much percentage of each vitamin, mineral, and all that is on the package. So I always like to clear this up. When you get a banana, does it have a tag on it that says how much each thing's in it? How much vitamin B's in, how much vitamin? No, there's not even a thing that says potassium. We know banana is very high in potassium, right? But a banana doesn't come off the tree with a little tag that says how much a percentage is in each one. Moringa's a plant. It's a food. It's a superfood, and we package it so it's more convenient because moringa doesn't grow here. But also because moringa, in its natural form, kind of not good. Okay, and it was designed that way, in my opinion, because it helps protect it. Or if something doesn't taste good on the limb, it's protected against insects and rodents and things that wouldn't benefit like humans would benefit. So I think that was for a purpose, personally. But our product in the package reformulated so that it tastes good, and still 100% a whole food so that your body can absorb it and recognize it. Because what's wrong with a lot of the things out there today is our bodies don't know what they are. Health and wellness is booming. You realize that, right?
Yep.
It's the biggest growing business right now. Because people, have you ever before seen social media sites talking so much about organic? all natural, raising their own chickens, right? Want to get it. I mean, that stuff 10 years ago, 5 years ago, nobody talks about it, even to their friends, close friends. Now it's all over social media. Everybody's trying to figure out how to raise a chicken in the backyard and they have like this much space because they're starting to realize that we have a problem. We have a nutrition problem. And we have a healthcare crisis because we have a dietary issue. So I know this from what I saw in practice for years. People, our issues, a lot of them are nutrition based. We have a huge problem in our country. And it's not just obesity, right? Obesity is bad. But why are we overweight? I remember when I was overweight and I would go into the doctor and they said, well, you need to lose weight. You need to exercise. Well, I felt horrible. Like, how I didn't even feel like getting up and going to do my job, much less going and running. Like, how is this supposed to happen? It was just like a never-ending cycle. So, and I would tell the physician, I would say, you know what, I'm hungry. Like, I can eat and 2 hours later I'm hungry again. And I felt guilty about it. So, when I tell people, don't feel guilty about it, it's the truth. You are hungry, right? Because we are undernourished. If you take in something every 2 hours, but it has very little nutritional quality and value, then in 2 hours your body's going to say, I need food. And it legitimately needs food. But we keep giving it something out of a bag or a box or frozen or something that's had so much added to it, preservatives, artificial flavoring, sweeteners, that sort of thing, that your body doesn't even know what it is. And that's what's causing all of our problems. Alright, so we need the good stuff that's in the green packages. Okay? So what is Super Mix? Super Mix is double the moringa of what's in Smart Mix. And this is what I take every day. I use Super Mix every day. Some days I use the XM Plus, the Super XM Plus, which is the black package. Anybody in here like this?
Oh, yeah.
Usually has a pretty good following. Alright. So this has all the nutrition of this, but an all natural energy. Okay, now I know where to go. All natural energy component. Now, a lot of people are confused by that and say, well, I can't take those energy drinks. Please don't take energy drinks. Do not drink them. And anybody that you love, care about, and want to see around for a long time, don't let them drink them. Is there anybody? Somebody's looking at somebody. We're gonna make an example. No, really. But why? Get this wrong. Don't drink them. Please don't drink them. We're gonna see more issues with children and teens and tweens in the next few years than we've ever saw before because of those drinks. And they're available. Just go in the Minimart, pick it up, and anybody can get them. But they're full of chemical-laden, cancer-causing agents. It's not good for you. XM Plus, all natural energy, gives your body what it needs so you can have energy. Does anybody know where energy comes from in the body? How do we have energy? Well, our food. Food is fuel, right? We were designed to run on a certain type of fuel, and we don't get that fuel anymore because of the things I explained earlier about the packages and the preservatives and the things that have been taken out of our food and added to our food. So we have an energy crisis, a people energy crisis. Everyone you talk to says, I just feel tired all the time. I can't really get up in the morning and I get home at night, all I want to do is sit in front of the TV because I have no energy. But then I can't sleep. Right? It's because we don't have fuel. The food goes into our body, it's converted into energy, and that's what gives us the oomph to get through the day. Well, if the fuel going in is mixed up and it's disproportionate to what our body needs, then you won't have energy. This has real kinesiological energy. That's what it means. It turns the nutrients into fuel so your body has energy. So you don't have that big spike where you feel like your heart's palpitating, you're going to jump out of the room, and then it just bottom falls out and you feel worse than you did when you started. You don't have that with this. And XM Plus came about because of this wonderful little creation. XM3. Alright, so XM3 was around when I got started with Zija. When we had the 3 products. We had Smart Mix and our XM AM capsule and the Detox Tea and XM3. XM3, this is the good answer for the 5-hour energy, Monsters, Red Bulls, all that stuff. Right, and I'm not knocking, yes I am, they're bad for you, don't drink them. There's proof, there's research, it's not me saying it, there's research, don't drink them. This has that real kinesiological energy and it tastes amazing and it's very convenient because it's already pre-mixed. So this is one of our go-to products. So we are a nutritional company, we have 3 product lines that's based in nutrition. Weight management, peak performance, and skincare. Anybody come here today and not know we have a skincare line? See? Nobody's telling people about skincare. We gotta do a better job with that. Alright, so our weight management system, you pick a mix, pick a capsule, and then do detox tea. Premium detox tea. Alright, anybody heard stories about the tea yet? All right, so the tea's a detox tea, colon cleanse, liver flush, all that good stuff. And it's crucial, it's key to weight loss. If you are using the weight management system and you're not using the tea, you will not see long-term weight loss, and you will not feel great, and you won't maintain your weight. I'll just tell you. Because you run into the problem of where your liver can't get rid of fat. Does everybody understand that process, that your liver filters out fat? If your body starts burning it faster than your liver can get rid of it, then it plateaus you. The dreaded plateau word. I used to have that a lot. So for years I tried to lose weight. For 2 weeks I'd do everything I was supposed to do, and I dropped 10 pounds, and then I keep doing what I was supposed to do. The next week I lose nothing. And what happens at that point? Go get your ice cream, because why? Why? Like, if I have to deny myself, I want to see results. So with our product, you never have that plateau, so you can keep burning fat and get rid of it. And you don't feel bad. I know when I used to go on diets off and on, I would feel bad. I would get sluggish or get sick sometimes, and it was because my body was getting built up with the toxins of the fat release. So we have 3 capsules. When I got started, we had XMN. All right, appetite suppression, metabolism booster helps you have a feeling of satisfaction and satiety throughout the day, so you're not hungry as much, right? Also some amazing energy from that. Then we had XMPM come out. It's a stimulant-free option. This can serve a dual purpose. Anybody that has a problem with taking stimulants and they need something that doesn't cause a stimulant increase, then they can take the XMPM. But also this works really good for people who don't have a problem with stimulants, but they have an issue at night with cravings. Right? Anybody like to get the chips and the cookies and the ice cream at night? Yeah, that was always one of my weaknesses. So this helps to block that craving. It also helps to decrease the serum cortisol in your blood. All naturally, these are plants. Serum cortisol is a stress hormone, right? And that causes weight gain around the middle. It also causes you not to sleep well, not rest well, and your body to be in a constant fight or flight. Right? If you're in constant fight or flight, you beef up, right? Because your body's trying to make you bigger to fight the enemy. It's a natural response. Our bodies were designed to do these things. So XMPM is an amazing, amazing product for that. Also has sea kelp in it. Sea kelp is proven in a study that I read recently. They did a study on 100 people. Actually, 100 of them got the sea kelp. 100 of them got a placebo. They didn't know which one. All 100 of the people on sea kelp lost weight. It's 100%. So who wants to burn fat while you sleep? If you didn't raise your hand, I'm worried about you. And then we have XM Burn. Yes. XM Burn not only took our weight management system to another level, XM Burn took our business to a whole other level. Would you all agree with me?
Yeah.
Anyone in the room who's been around for 6 months, a year? This was announced last fall. Amazing, amazing product. We've seen tremendous amounts of weight loss, but also people who are feeling really good to exercise, work out, people who are already at their peak, and they're just using this to help them to get that extra burn. Right? It's a thermogenic fat burner, so all natural, helps melt the fat away. Good stuff, right? I think, Scott, I think you described it as like a marshmallow over a fire, right?
I'm telling you. I love
It starts oozing away. Thermogenic means heats things up, heats your cells up. When you get to an exercise mode and you get past that point of where you have sped up the molecules in your fat to a point of where they're really, really hot, they burn and they go away. That's why exercise helps to burn fat. This increases the heat in your body, increases the fat cell molecules moving around, so it mimics that. Make sense? Alright, and then of course I said the detox tea. Detox tea is used at night before bed. You have a response the next morning. It won't be life-changing, so don't get scared. Alright, it has to happen. Not saying anybody's full of it, just saying. Some more than others, that's right. But we all need to have a detox in our lives. Even if you're not trying to lose weight, you should occasionally do a detox, because we take in toxins all day long, right? There's all this stuff in the air, and you'll feel less sluggish, you'll have more energy, and you'll feel better. So a couple other products that we have that are adjuncts for our weight management system. The Daily Tea. Right, this came out at the same time as XM Burn, and it's an appetite suppression tea. You can mix this, steep it, use it about 30 minutes before a meal so that you have a more fullness, so you don't take in as many calories. But I like it to sip on throughout the day. Anybody using this regularly? Yeah. So I like it just to steep it in the morning and then have it around as something else to drink on throughout the day, and it kind of cuts that curbs the cravings. And our Prime 90. I noticed that Scott only gave us the vanilla bean. It's probably because he's afraid somebody will take the chocolate.
Exactly.
Because the chocolate is the best. Anybody think the vanilla is the best? Yeah. Yeah, there's it's always you're the vanilla or you're a chocolate person. My husband's a vanilla person, I'm a chocolate person now before we get along, right? Otherwise he'd be eating all my chocolate and I wouldn't be happy. So he likes the vanilla, I like the chocolate. It's amazing because I'll just be honest with you, when this product came out, I had a little bit of moment of fright because I was sitting in the room where they were announcing it. They announced this great protein shake and everybody's excited and I was like, oh no. Because I have tried many shakes, right? Because I have tried to lose weight for a long time. Anybody's tried to lose weight, you've tried shakes, right?
Yep,
We've tried
right.
shakes before. And they usually taste chalky, and they don't fill you up, and they don't mix up well, and then you end up eating a couple hours later, so you're just taking more calories in of something you didn't really want to drink. So I thought, what if Zija's come out with something I don't like? What am I going to do? But I tried it, and I tried the chocolate, and I was blown away. Blown away. It mixed up so easily. It didn't have that chalky taste, and I'm full for 5 or 6 hours. Alright, so the Prime 90 was launched as a part of our peak performance system that I mentioned as our second line of products, which uses the XM Plus and the peak performance Prime 90. But I think the Prime 90 is one of the best things we've ever come out with because it is also usable in the weight management system. For those of us who need a meal replacement shake, right? When you're on the go, that's when you make bad choices. So I know for myself when I'm going to speak or if I'm out late at night, make sure I have that with me, I'm good. And the other thing is it's so easy because you can mix it in water, milk, almond milk, however you want to do it. You can just use it in a blender bottle or you can actually put it in the blender, however you want to do it. I will say this, in my opinion, 1.5 scoops of the chocolate with almond milk and crushed up ice in the blender tastes like a Frosty. Anybody else got me? And I'm a Frosty girl. I love Frosty. So if I can find something that replaces that and it can use as a meal replacement and I have an excuse to drink it, happy life. So it's a great product. I highly encourage you to try it. And the vanilla is not bad. I'm just the chocolate. If I have an excuse to eat or drink chocolate, I'm going to. So our last line I want to speak about real quick is this the oil or the eye serum? Our skincare. And a couple people in here admitted that they hadn't heard we had a skincare line. And there may be some distributors in the room now because we don't talk about it. And why do we not talk about it? Because we have amazing stories like yours. How much weight have you lost now?
And since March, 85.
85 pounds.
I actually had to get out a calculator yesterday and start figuring because I've had some people ask and then they've kind of changed my story.
Yeah, you're like.
And so I had to go back and write it down so I know how much on Zija I've lost 85.
That's amazing.
I've lost 274 total.
Wow.
That's
So
But I was dying, okay?
yeah.
And I felt terrible after losing all that weight. And the last 85 pounds on Zija I feel good now.
Awesome. And that's what's important.
And I'm off of 11 medications.
So with this product, like this, of course, this isn't a drug. I always have to say, you know, I'm a medical provider, so I'll tell you, not a drug. We don't claim, diagnosis, treat, prevent, cure, any of that stuff. But when you give your body proper nutrition and your body starts changing, other things will change. But with stories like that,
One thing is very important, as you said earlier, it's a food.
yeah, it's a superfood.
I hear people asking me all the time, well, can I take that? Will it hurt my medication? Do they ask if they can eat a banana? Do they ask if they can? And I started telling people, no, it's a food. It's a food.
It's a food.
Don't freak people out.
It is a food. Yeah, that's right. It's a food. So with stories like that, you can see why our skincare line kind of gets overshadowed, right? Makes skincare just not seem as important. Right? But let me ask you a question. Who has skin? Yeah, so most people here with no skin.
A lot more than I need.
All right, so the skin, did you know skin is your largest organ of your body? Skin's actually an organ. And did you know that it holds everything else in place?
Yep.
It's kind of important, right? So we need to take good care of it. And if you run into somebody you hadn't seen in a while at the grocery or wherever, and their skin, the color looks off, they just don't look, that's sometimes the first cue that something's wrong with them, right? So wouldn't you say that skin is important? So our skincare line is based on the same things, just like our nutritional line, moringa. Moringa is the most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered. And so your body not only gets everything on the inside that you need, you know, to get through, but also we can put it on the outside. And what makes our skincare line so unique is all of our skincare products actually absorb 7 dermal layers deep. Right, most skincare lines absorb between 4 to 5. Alright, and that's the good ones, right? I've used a lot of skincare line products over the years, never consistently like I should. But all of our skincare line is infused with moringa, Zija oil, moringa oil. They showed you on there. Did everybody notice when they were pulling those little pods down, they got that seed out and they pressed it on a white piece of paper? The oil that came out of those seeds is what this is. That's how pure this is. And it's been used for centuries around the world in these third world countries where they don't have Walgreens and Neosporin on the corner. Where they needed to find something that had good antibacterial, anti-inflammatory healing properties. Amazing for eczema, psoriasis, and rashes, and cuts, and blisters, and stretch marks, and story after story after story. But basically you're giving your body on the outside good nutrition. I'm not going to touch on all the products because I want just for time, just to save some time, but I'll be glad to answer any questions about it afterwards. This is what I'll tell you about the skincare line. There's 7 different products, and it's all based with the oil. We have an amazing eye serum, right? Eye serums are a beautiful, beautiful thing, right? And ours works really, really well. And it comes with a little roller ball, and you put it in the refrigerator so it's cold when you put it on there, so it works really good. The anti-aging night repair is my favorite skincare product. And I've seen huge changes in not only my skin, but my mom's skin and several other people in our family. But it actually has something in it called summer snowflake. Isn't that odd? Right. But in the botanical world, if you pull it up in a plant book, summer snowflake is known as nature's Botox. It actually increases the production of collagen, fills in fine lines and wrinkles, and lifts the skin. And I've seen big changes here and here and here. And actually, I think I have my picture. I'll show. I'll show you. And here. These guys. I'm gonna travel with me. Alright, so the skincare line is amazing as well. So make sure you're doing yourself the service of sharing that with anybody you talk to about these amazing products. Because some people, the outside's more important to them. Anybody know somebody like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. That's okay. But what they will come to know too is what they're putting in their body shows on the outside of their body, right? Wouldn't you agree with that? And so we all know that acne, eating greasy foods, chocolate foods, lots of stuff like that, that makes your acne come out more. Well, doesn't it also make sense that other things you put in your body would show on your skin more? Alright, so if sometime you have to use the skincare line to get people interested, that's okay, because once they start looking at the actual information,